And here we go. What's up, people? Hey, listen, I just wanted to say, before I said hi to Team Cat Mojo, Mike from Riversong Guitars presented me with this guitar on the set of my show, My Cat from Hell, and I gotta tell you this, I don't know, people, if you can see the fact that this is all lit up. Watch, let's do that. Big red button on the side of this guitar. It's almost like I have my finger on the pulse of the bomb here, but instead of the bomb, I have a big red light on my guitar. It is absolutely beautiful. And I thank Mike. I thank you so much. This more than you know. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, and I mean it. And without further ado. Hello, Team Cat Mojo. Welcome to a special Google Hangout. Thank you for coming. And today, before we get on to our main subject, first of all, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in to Cat Mojo, which is on the Animalist Network and my YouTube station every Monday night. And it's gotten fantastic response. I'm getting great comments, people subscribing, wanting to know when we're doing more stuff like this. And we're going to be doing this once a month for Google Hangout, which is really exciting. And so I did want to thank everybody. And also I did want to acknowledge, before we went on, I did want to acknowledge the passing of Colonel Meow, the fuzziest cat in the world. I think that he actually had that distinction of being the furriest cat in the world. Excuse me, hold on one second. Anyway, and he left us this week, and of course he was part of the Animalist family on the Cat Pack, and of course all thoughts go out to his people and his minions as well. So, but you know, I don't think that people understand until they have an animal in their life, like that one on cue. There goes Barry. How deep that bond actually is, and it's incredibly deep. And I think a lot of times when we lose animals, we tend to feel guilty because we feel deeper for them than we do sometimes humans that leave us. And we go, how could I feel deeper for an animal than I do for a human? And I think the key is, it is the purest form of unadulterated, unconditional love there is, because we don't have a whole lot of English or whatever language in between us. We don't talk about, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that, or why did he have to call me fat when I was 12 years old? You know, we don't have that, right? We just have, hello, Barry. This is Barry, by the way, folks. Barry has made his own appearances on Cat Mojo, crawling all over me, putting his butt in my face, and doing exactly what Barry does. Right, Barry? Anyway, so, hey, let's get on to the main topic of our conversation today, and that would be declawing. Now, if you know me or you know Barry, you know that we are absolutely vociferously against declawing. We have together helped fight against declawing. We have helped pass local ordinances against declawing here in California, hoping, of course, that we would get it done on the state level, which is very, very tough indeed. But also, you might have seen me in the Paw Project movie, and if you haven't seen the Paw Project movie, go on to pawproject.org, and you can actually stream the movie right now. It's a very, very important topic. Why is it an important topic? It's important because animals are suffering for no good reason. Cats need their claws. They need them to exist. Right? To scratch is to live in the cat's world. And I mean, honestly, it's one of those things that is just there for our convenience. And at some point in time, if you want an animal in your life, you do have to compromise a little bit. And one of those compromises is having the body parts on them that they need to have in order to live. So don't forget also, if you need to see my entire spiel on declawing, just go to the last couple of episodes of Cat Mojo on my YouTube channel, and that is my basic stance on declawing. And then there was the second part of that, which was basically, okay, Jackson, you talked me into it. I'm not going to declaw my cat, but he's still ruining my house. What do I do? And then I go off on that for a little while as well, for God's sake. So anyhow, so I wanted to get to your questions today about declawing, and the first one comes from, I wish I could pronounce your name, but I believe it's Izara. And Izara asks me, what are your thoughts on cutting the tendon that extends their claws? So tendinectomy, which is the cutting of the tendon that keeps cats from being able to retract their claws, that is an option, or it has been a surgical option, but depending on who you ask, it's just as cruel, if not crueler, than declawing itself. Mainly because what happens is they lose that ability to retract their claws. So they're permanently out, which means that you are now on the hook, so to speak, for trimming their claws constantly. Now, if you've got to do that so that your cat doesn't, get caught up on the rug or any other piece of furniture because they can't retract their own claws, why wouldn't you be just trimming your cat's claws in the first place instead of getting a tendinectomy and then trimming your cat's claws? That doesn't make any sense at all, right? It also leads to as much arthritic complications as declawing does itself. There is no way around it. And it opens up another question, which is, I don't care if it's declawing surgically with a scalpel, a guillotine, a laser, or tendinectomy. You're making decisions based on your convenience as opposed to the needs of your animal, in which case maybe you want to reconsider having an animal. Just saying. So, next question from user SMOF1. Isn't getting a cat neutered an even more invasive surgery, though? Okay, let's get into this for a second, because I'm sorry, SMF1, it drives me out of my mind. You guys drive me crazy with that question, and I'll tell you why. You're changing the subject. Talk about surgical apples and oranges. Let's put it this way. What's killing 6 million animals a year in animal shelters across the country? What is it? It's animals that are not spayed or neutered. We do not have enough homes in the world for these animals, plain and simple, so we are killing them. Spaying or neutering is not a choice in my book. We have got to spay and neuter these animals, or else we will be killing them. And when I say we, I mean the people in animal shelters. I mean the people who are the last house on the block. These are the people who are going to be killing these animals. How do you equate that exactly with the invasiveness of declawing? Because, don't forget, you are doing that not for the sake of the animal, you're doing it for the sake of you. Okay? Declawing is something that you are doing to save your furniture, or because you think they're going to scratch a member of your family, or you just don't trust your cat's claws. I don't know what it is, but that's why you're doing it. Spaying or neutering, by the way, not only is it necessary, I'm sorry, maybe in a perfect world we wouldn't do it, but a couple of things. If you've ever been around an intact Tom or Queen in your house when they can't go outside, you will know what hell on earth is, right? Because your cat is not only in heat, let's say, but every other animal on your block knows they're in heat. They are screaming at night. They're getting into fights. They are escaping. They're busting through screens to get out there because they have this primary objective, which is to breed. And they will let you know that. So it's unrealistic to have sexually intact animals in a domestic cat-dog environment. It's just not realistic. You're asking for every kind of behavior problem you can think of. Secondly, there are health benefits to getting spayed and neutered long-term, whether that's testicular cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer. There is no need for these animals to be sexually intact. And I don't want to get into this stupid argument about us playing God and isn't this the same thing and at this slippery slope. What you're doing then is you're polluting the argument itself. These are two totally separate things. Declawing is an act of convenience when you value your furniture over your animal's health. Because I can tell you, and again, you can see this on my YouTube rant itself, there are many reasons why you need to keep your cat's claws intact. Health reasons, behavior reasons, and by the way, just on an emotional, energetic level, being incomplete as a being, being mutilated as a being, does something to you. So, and I don't care whether you're a cat or a dog or a horse or a pig, or it doesn't matter who you are. So that's that. And those are 2 questions so far. Now, and by the way, guys, I want to encourage you right now. This is the whole thing about this being live, is that I want to hear what you have to say. And oh, cool. By the way, let's go to a live question. All right. I can't even read what you're. Hi, Jen. Jen asks me. We adopted 2 female cats, their mother and daughter. The daughter likes to claw up everything from our couch to wooden furniture. We bought a scratching post, but she won't go near it, even if we rub it with catnip. What can we do to get her to stop? Wait a minute. Is this not Jen? What do I have here? All right. Is this a live? I don't know. I'm having trouble deciding who's. Well, whoever you are. Whoever you are, thank you for writing in. And let me answer the question if I can. Again, it's hard for me because I don't know your cat, and I try not to answer questions that are, you know, specific to your cat, because I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah, the only thing that I can tell you is whatever your cat is clawing up, they're clawing up for a couple of reasons. First of all, they dig the surface itself. Is it wood? Okay, they like the feeling of wood. Then you should be going out there and getting yourself a wood scratching post or a wood scratching surface. Also, are they liking to scratch horizontally or vertically? Okay, well then make sure that you're presenting them with that. Finally, location, 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 right? If your cat is scratching up, for instance, the biggest thing, of course, is the couch. Why do most cats scratch couches? Well, glad you asked me. Because it's culturally, societally, territorially significant. Because your scent is so strong on that couch. So the best thing for a cat to do when they compliment your scent is to rub up against it with their cheeks or the top of their head, like Barry's doing right now. Rub up against it or scratch it. We have scent glands in between her paws, and of course the visual element of the claws themselves. They basically say, I own this couch. I own this couch along with you, but me and you we're territorial compadres that way. So if that's the case, then you do want to make sure and put a scratching post in that area. And make sure that it's as sturdy as the couch. Okay, so let's say now you have a wooden thing, which you know your cat likes. It's vertical, because your cat likes vertical scratching. It's right next to the couch because you want to say, no, I'm not crazy about you scratching on the couch, so I'll put sticky paws, which is double-sided sticky tape, on the side of the couch. That's a no. And there's a yes right next to it, and that would be your scratching post, which is just as sturdy as the couch, lets you make your territorial mark, and it won't drive me insane along the way. You see, for every behavioral problem that you give me that accompanies a cat's claws, I will give you a solution. I dare you to come up with anything that is around the use of claws that doesn't have a solution to it. Okay, so that's where we start. I really want to, you know, not to be a sledgehammer. That's not who I am normally. Maybe now, but I want you guys to think about something. Not one time will declawing a cat happen because your cat wants it to happen. You're never acting in the interests of your cat when you're declawing them. Begin with that argument. When 25% of cats in this country are still being declawed, remember that 25% of the pet guardian population is doing so for their own self-interest and not for the interests of their cat. And you may say, okay, well, here's the thing. My cat scratches so much that if it's not for me declawing them, they're going to wind up in a shelter. Okay, if the only reason that your cat is still in your home is because you declawed them, you have to re-examine why you have a cat in your life. Get a goldfish. And I'm saying that half as a smartass, But in all seriousness, there are a lot of concessions that you make to having the honor of an animal in your life. You know, and hey, listen, you have the honor of having children in your life. You gonna cut off their fingers because they're drawing with crayons on the walls? No, of course you won't. So all I'm asking you to do is for a moment consider valuing the life of your animal companion to the degree that you value the life of your human companions. And I know that 10 years ago that would have been a stretch for me to say that, but I choose to believe that it's not right now. I choose to believe that we're on the verge of a big cultural shift where we value animals even more. Call me crazy. Anyhow, oh wow, now that I'm ready, we're going to have a live on-screen guest. I don't know how this is supposed to work, but I'm ready. Let's see who we got here. And this would be Jen. Okay, Jen, I wish I could hear you, but I can't. How do I get Jen? Oh, I see you, Jen. Yes, no, I still don't have any voice on you. I don't know what you're trying to tell me, Jen. Poor Jen. Jen looks so sad. What? Oh, now someone else is crapping in the litter box behind me. Jen, I don't know how to get you to be vocalrific right now. My microphone is not muted, so I do have sound. And then I'm being told we'll come back to her. Bye, Jen. We'll come back to her. So Jill Davis has a great question. Hi, both of my cats are declawed. How do I make lives better from them from now on? They are indoor cats. Jill, you know what? Thank you, Jill. I mean, thank you for saying that. I freaking admire you for coming forward and saying, you know what, I did this, and now I want to make their lives better. You kick ass, Jill. And I really, I want to honor you on that one. And Barry wants to honor you as well. How can you make their lives better from now on? What's done is done. There's not a ton to be done at this point. You can allow them scratching surfaces to help them keep their paws strong. What's up, Barry? What's up, Barry? To help keep their paws strong, you can also do a little bit here. Now that Barry's sitting here, Barry, come here. Let's show the people. You know, you can just do a little bit of that, right? Just a little bit of soft massage on those paws. Just remember, you know, cats will still feel phantom pain in the same way that humans would feel phantom pain from limbs that have been amputated in the past. They still think that those parts still exist, and they still hurt, kind of. So a little bit of massage goes a long way. Acupuncture also goes a long way. Exercise goes a long way. Continue to play with those things so they don't feel like they're missing something. But again, the best thing that you can do, Jill, is tell the world exactly how you told me. I did it. The implication is I wouldn't do it again. And how do I make my cats' lives better? And hey, by the way, Mr. Next person I'm talking to, you don't have to do it either. So there we go. And just waiting for something new. Hold on a minute. From Claire Evans on Google+. An alternative to traditional declawing using a scalpel is laser declawing. Some say it's still extremely painful to cats, but some disagree. They imply it's a relatively pain-free because the lasers seal nerve endings and blood vessels. Is this really true? Do you see that smile on my face because that's so humorous? I don't care if you're using a laser or a scalpel. You're still cutting off a cat's toes. So if you want to tell the cat that, hey, when you wake up, guess what? We sealed the nerves so your toes aren't going to hurt. Right, exactly, Barry. It's a crock. It's absurd. There's actually been studies that show that laser declawing actually has more pain associated with it in the first 2 days post-surgery than traditional declawing. Again, we cannot make the assumption that cats don't feel physical pain to the same degree that we do. I mean, come on. If someone said the same thing to you, hey, you know, we're going to put you under, we're going to cut the first digit of your fingers off, And when you wake up, at least you can take comfort in knowing that we did it with a laser. But anyhow, what else we got going on here? From Kitty Marsh on Google+. What's up, Kitty Marsh? I have an upright scratching post and one that lays down, and my cat still insists on clawing the door jamb. Is there anything I can do to make her stop? If I cover the door jamb, she goes to another or uses the corner of the wall. Period. Okay. So here's the thing. The best. Wow, dude. The best way that we can start addressing this is, I know. And now a word from our sponsor. Kitty Dental Treats. A must for any cat guardian. God, you just stunk up my nose so badly. Anyway, so I had lost my train of thought completely now. We were talking. Oh, so you do want to start thinking about why your cat is clawing that door jamb. What's on the other side of the door, right? What is it? What are you keeping your cat away from, right? Or if you're not keeping them away from something, they're just scratching that door jamb. They are letting you know that the doorways themselves are territorially hugely important to them. So probably you have multiple cats in the house, or you have kids, or you have competitors to territory in your home. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that there's proper scratching materials in that area. Now she's saying that she has an upright scratching post when it lays down. My hope is, Kitty Marsh, is that you are putting those scratching materials right next to the door jamb. Because again, we want to set our cats up for successful marking. When I say successful marking, what I'm saying is that marking is inevitable, it's necessary, it's also a really good thing. Because if cats mark things in a very confident type of way, which clawing actually is, if they don't have that opportunity, they may wind up marking in an unconfident way, which is peeing on that door jamb. So as long as they're in that area, we can do the yes-no technique, right? No, I don't want you to scratch here, so I'm going to put sticky paws or some adversive on that door jamb. Yes, I get it. I get it. Doorways are really important territories, so I'm going to allow to have scratching posts. There are wall-mounted scratching posts that you can actually get. Remember, you want to mimic the surface type that your cat gravitates towards in the first place. In this case, it's plaster, I guess, but there's no such thing as a plaster scratching post, but you get what I'm saying. In that case, something like sisal rope or plain old wood may help a little bit more. But don't forget, think like your cat, put on your cat glasses for a second, and remember that you can think like your cat for a moment and try to figure out why they're scratching in the first place. Remember, it's not just about exercising their chest muscles, their claws themselves, removing the dead sheaths of nail, but it's also territorially crucial to them. So find out why that is and help them out of it. Now, Jen is ready. It's been troubleshot. She should be ready to go. Jen, are you with me? I would love to talk to you, Jen.
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
What's up, Jen? How you doing?
Hey, hi, Jackson. Thanks for taking my question.
Okay, what's up?
So I've never considered declawing my cat, but I do need some help living with her claws. She's very lovable, but she's a skittish cat, and so when she sits in my lap or when I hold her, if there's a noise that startles her, she will claw up my entire body to bolt out of there.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
So, wondering if you have any advice on how I can either calm her nerves or maybe train her not to dig into me when she needs to flee.
Well, I thought that was my cat. I was like, oh my God, someone's got a hairball. The thing to think about, Jen, first of all, is tell me, what are the exact noises that your cat goes crazy over?
Oh, it'll be like either somebody in the room coughs, or
wow, that bad.
Yeah, outside someone hits the horn on their car,
Okay.
Or if somebody slams the door in the room.
So that defines skittish. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we would try to. Now, first of all, If you look at, I firmly believe in holistic modalities like flower essence therapy. I have a line of flower essences that you can get on my website, on jacksongalaxy.com, and they're called spirit essences. I have found that in the past they've been amazingly beneficial as a complementary therapy. And I have a formula called Scaredy Cat, which I think would work really well, just to help bring down that kind of energetic static level just a little bit, so that she's not already at a 7. So when somebody wakes her up, she doesn't go to 11. So that's one thing. Now the second thing is you have to sort. I mean, really, if she has no control over her clawing at that point, your cat having soft paws would probably be a good idea, right? So soft paws are acrylic nail tips that you can put on. You cut their nails, you put the tips on, leave them alone for about a month at a time. They're cool. And then their nails will grow and push the tips off, and then you'll be all right. So for a cat that has no control whatsoever, so it's a great actual example. I mean, your example details one of the most severe sort of involuntary scratching problems that people have, and the reason why they get them declawed. So soft paws, to me, is that last line of defense. Soft paws is a no-brainer. It doesn't hurt them. They don't feel it. The worst thing that happens is they pop off early. Sometimes the glue comes undone. But that's it. But that's what I would recommend. The last thing I would tell you to do is, Jen, do more exercises with your cat that are socially based. So you're trying to desensitize her to those noises. So one of the things that you can do is during play sessions with your cat, record. Oh, shit. Oh. I just turned into your cat. So one of the things that you can do is make a recording of the street sounds of your neighborhood, and as you're playing with your cat, play the recording. Start it at a really low volume. You're associating great things with the playtime, right? So that high energy playtime with the high energy noise, and then over time you raise the volume more and more and more. So she's used to those kind of unpredictable sounds being part of her energetic output, and hopefully she becomes desensitized to the noises.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining me. Well, now this is exciting, people. Welcome to the 21st century, cat style. This is fun, man. We're having a good time. So let's see here. Wait a minute, I got a question from Vivian Frawley on Google+. I don't think it's Vivian Frawley, because I think Vivian Frawley, wasn't Vivian Frawley like I Love Lucy's best friend? She was Ethel. I could be wrong. But I believe that you're not the Vivian Frawley. But anyway, one argument people make is that they're afraid the cat will scratch their child. I try to explain to them that they're trying to tell your child they do not like what they did, and that their only alternative is a bite. A scratch is better than a bite. They usually get angry and walk away. Any advice to fight this one? Aha! Okay, well, absolutely. Guys, when you have a cat with no claws, chances are better than not that they will go to a bite before they attempt to, mock scratch you. The idea being that the cats are aware that they're missing their first line of defense. What normally will happen is, let's say Barry's pissed at me. Come here, Barry. Are you pissed at me, Barry? All right. So Barry's mad at me, right? Barry's going to be like, pow, 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 right? And he's going to be like, pow, 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 with his claws not out. Then when he gets really angry, then his claws come out, and he goes to scratch me. Then if that doesn't work and I'm still coming at him, then he'll bite me. Now, first of all, let's talk about a recipe for disaster. You have a cat who's trying to send a signal with part of his arsenal that's broken, and you have a child. And a child is not trained to look at the signs of a cat who's not happy, nor, by the way, should they be. I mean, and there's no excuse really for a child under the age of 6 having unsupervised time with a cat, by the way. They don't have the motor skills. Kids do not have the motor skills to do this. Kids have the motor skills to do this. Yank tail, pull this. Oh, I love you, kitty. I mean, that's all they really have the motor skills to do. And the intelligence level, by the way. So that combination of a declawed cat and a child who's unsupervised, stuff's going to happen. So again, I don't want you going down that path of saying, huh, declawing a cat is a great alternative to having my child scratched. Because again, you're making a decision based on your convenience because you don't want to deal with the alternatives, which is your child approaching a cat in a menacing way. Of all of the seasons of My Cat from Hell that you guys have seen, of all of the cases I've worked in a 20-year career, I can count on my hands how many like pure ninja cats there really are out there. A cat that will just walk across the floor, take one look at you, and like launch from the rafters in order to carve your face up. They usually have a very good reason for doing what they're doing. And if it's a child, just like you said, Vivian Frawley, that you know, to a degree, the child asked for it. I'm just saying to a degree. And the adult asked for it because they're not watching their child with the cat. Of course, an incredible generalization, but, you know, in my experience. So another live on-screen question. Right on. Jackie is ready when I am. Jackie, I'm ready for you. Jackie, you there?
Hi.
What's up, Jackie?
What's up? First of all, I love Cat Mojo. It's the best. I watch it all the time.
Why,
thank you.
Thank you.
So my question is, I inherited a newish cat recently, and she just, like, I'll be petting her, and she's purring, and everything's great, and then all of a sudden she just turns, and she bites and attacks and latches on, and she goes crazy. Like, my hands, you can't really see it, but she's just been going nuts on me. She's trying to kill me. Okay. Anyway, so when they do scratch at you and bite you, should you discipline them, or do you just let them do it? And if so, how do you discipline them?
Okay, a couple of questions buried in that question. Now, the first thing is, of course, no, discipline doesn't work in cats at all. They have no idea why you're doing what you're doing. All they know is you have now become a scary thing in their world. Cool. And now the bond between you and your cat suffers irreparably because every time you raise a hand, they think that you're a threat. Now, what happens when they think you're a threat is that they go into fight or flight, which means that the chances of you getting attacked again go up tenfold. Because remember, you're not dealing with an animal that communicates in the same stratosphere that you do. Their stratosphere is based on predator and prey. So either they're being hunted or they're doing the hunting. And if someone stares at them, tells them like this, they're either going to go, the hell, and run away and be scared of you, or say, game on, and come at you again, even higher. Now, this leads into the other thing, which is what your cat is experiencing is overstimulation aggression, right? Petting-induced overstimulation aggression. The thing about cats, they have what's called a sympathetic nervous system, right? Which is to say that their body and mind they're fused, right? So when they start getting physically overstimulated, there is no thought process. They're not going, this person is bugging the hell out of me, and I don't like her glasses, and I'm going to kick her ass, right? They're not going to do that. What they're going to go is, pow, right? So what you're doing is you're putting this like static energy into their body by petting. It's a very long, complicated explanation about hair follicle receptors and things that will make you go sleep, but the idea is that once you raise that static level in that energetic balloon, they will pop. Every cat has a different threshold. Now, you have a threshold. If somebody was doing this to you, like, it may feel really good for a minute, and then after a while you're like, get off. You know what I mean? Now, when a cat says get off, they'll scratch you and bite you because they literally hit that threshold physiologically, bang, and then they don't have a thought process. So the first thing I don't want you to do is think that your cat is saying something to you, right? They're not. They're just in reaction mode. Secondly, you got to take responsibility for your cat's physical balloonness. And as they're getting a little more and more agitated, you go, oh, I noticed that body language. I noticed that her eyes are dilated, or her ears are twitching, or we have backlightning. You know, backlightning, right down the back. Tail. That's the biggest one is the tail. Suddenly,
she whips it around like crazy.
That's your cat. Yeah. That's her tail's temperature gauge, right? Oh. So as you pet, you're putting that energy into the cat's body. You start noticing that, and then we got that. And when the cat's tail's going like that, you should get out of the way.
Okay.
Because that is like T-5, and things are about to get terrible. All right. The other thing that you can do is if you pet your cat, stay up around here. There's less of the hair follicle receptors. They can really enjoy touch much more here. Remember, these are scent glands as well, so double duty. pleasure and marking, right, at the same time under
Right.
heat. And as soon as you go to the full-body pet, you're risking overstimulating your cat. So in that vein, the last thing I'm going to say about that is don't forget, when you go to discipline, after you've overstimulated them, you are going to make that attack twice as bad the next attack because they're already like this. And then they popped. So now they're like a grenade spinning around in your living room, and they're going to go off even bigger as soon as you go up to them and go, stop doing that, right? Now they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Literally pouring gasoline on the fire. So hopefully that helped a little bit.
That was great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We have one last question from Sarah Wood. Hi, Sarah. How can we as a society help to ban this in America? What a last question that is, right? That kicks butt right there. Hey, listen, Sarah, first of all, go on to the pawproject.org. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Paw Project has my undying devotion. And they will, first of all, encourage you to do a screening in your home, well, your home city, home domicile, you know what I'm saying, of the Paw Project movie. There's a chance that Dr. Jennifer Conrad, the director of the movie, could come to your area. I may even show up, you never know, and will explain to you everything about declawing. The other thing is, depending on your state and local legislature, what we did in California, we went from city to city to city, from San Francisco to Oakland to Los Angeles to West Hollywood to Santa Monica, and we just went in front of city councils and said, this is cruel. Let's change this law. And almost every city said, you know what, you guys are right. This is barbaric. Don't forget, Paw Project can help you guys arm yourself with knowledge. There's packs we can give you, studies galore, things that you can give to politicians to say, hey, listen, stop following the money, basically, you know. And also, guys, you can also start affecting the flow of demand. I mean, let's face facts. Declawing's not going to end in this country until there isn't a 25% demand from all cat guardians. As long as people want this done to the tune of 25% of all cat guardians in this country, let me tell you, it's going to be available. So you have to educate your neighbors. You have to let people know. And by the way, let your vet know. Let your vet know that you are not coming back to a clinic that mutilates cats. Boy, that gets pretty far, right? Enough said. Enough said. I don't get. If you know me, and you watched My Cat from Hell, and you know that I'm a guy with endless patience for people and cats, and you're seeing what this does to me, you can take my word for it, folks. You can take my word for it. I wouldn't be this vocal, this passionate, and this pissed off if it wasn't something that I believed was in the worst self-interest of every cat on this planet. Take my word for it, okay? And let's see. Let me just, before, it's time for me to wrap this up, first of all, and I just want to thank you again, guys. Thank you so much for watching Cat Mojo and helping me send it off with an amazing beginning. We've already aired our first 7 shows or so, and it has been just tons of fun. The feedback is great. These Google Hangouts are great. And it also keeps me in touch with you because, I'm off filming My Cat from Hell. And also, don't forget, My Cat from Hell is coming back. Season 5 will start airing as soon as we're done shooting season 5, which should happen in about a month. And yeah, also, hey, stay in touch. Twitter, Facebook, go onto my website, Google+, basically wherever you are, I am, and I can answer questions to the best of my ability that way as well, and keep you abreast on things that are going on. Now, last thing I'm going to talk about really fast is, what do you do if you've already declawed your cat? What do I do for the people who have done it, and they feel kind of crappy about having done it? It's okay. Forgive yourself. I forgive you. Not that you care, but I forgive you. And there's not anybody on this planet who is more against declawing than I am. if you did this and you feel bad and you're going to do something about it, I love you. If you're going to do it again, then we got problems, right? Then it's hard to forgive. Once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. You can't unring that declawing bell. Hopefully that bell has been rung. No. But what I was going to say was, what you can do as somebody who declawed and doesn't and feels bad about it is let other people know. Let people know about your experiences. Let people know that it's not cool. Let your vet know that you're not psyched that they didn't warn you about the complications. And help fight the good fight. Jump on board. You know, one of the things that I'll leave you with it. My dear close friend Dr. Gene Hovey, who is also in the Paw Project movie, my one-time business partner and just a fabulous veterinarian and friend, is one of the leading voices now in declawing. And I'm talking, when this woman shows up at a city council meeting with a ream of paperwork like this to show people from the AVMA or whoever else wants to listen, hey, listen, these are studies. This is, you want to call this anecdote? Here's anecdote, right? She was a vet who performed declaw. And she calls this her karmic debt. And she will continue to fight the good fight along with other vets that I know for the rest of their lives. I love that. And that's what you can do as well if I've managed to change your mind, is to do what I'm doing. Educate the next person. Make sure that next year it's not 25%, man. That's what I want. 25%. Come on now. We can do a lot better than that, okay? We are Team Cat Mojo, man. Now, let me just remind you, Monday night, watch Cat Mojo, be a part of Team Cat Mojo. Also, you can put comments on the, I'm looking at where to put comments. Yeah, don't forget, you can watch Cat Mojo on animalist.com/Cat Mojo or on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jackson Galaxy. Make sure to like Animalist on Facebook and also on Twitter. You can follow Animalists and me as well, Jackson Galaxy. So I believe that is all she wrote. Folks, we'll do this again in a month. I can't tell you how much fun it is to have you guys with me for this, and it's amazing to know that Team Cat Mojo is in full effect worldwide. We're going to make it a good place for cats coming up in 2014. Let me know also, by the way, what you'd like to see on the next Google Hangout. Leave comments at the bottom of my YouTube page, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. I'll see it. All right? All light, all love, all mojo to you. Mwah. Talk to you guys soon. Love you. Bye-bye.